Hello, and welcome to Library Quest. My name is David, and the goal of this channel is to find books that are worthy to be on my own personal library. So I will be going out and hunting for books at my local library or reading books on my Kindle to figure out which ones are worthy enough to be in my personal library. So the first book that I'm going to be reviewing is Breath of the Dragon by Shannon Lee and Fonda Lee that came out the first week of January in 2025. And so going into this book, I was really excited. Not because it's the first book of 2025 and the first book that I'm reviewing, but because this book is written by Shannon Lee and Fonda Lee. Shannon Lee is the daughter of Bruce Lee, and she owns the estate and all the things that her father has done. So she has manuscripts that her father wrote. She has her own personal lessons that she learned from her father personally. And that she feels like this is a story that he himself would approve of. And possibly if this was ever turned into an action film, as you can see my cat right there, so cute, this film would be turned into, or this book would turn into a film that he himself could play a part in a certain role within this project. So the storyline is that a young kid, John, and his twin are 6 years old. And on their 6th birthday, every kid is supposed to be presented to what they call the Dragon Blessed, and to see if they have the mark of the dragon on them. Now this is usually a form of like a scale that will be a birthmark, and with it comes special abilities. Now, usually these special abilities can anywhere from like extra strength to being able to fall asleep whenever you want and only needing like 3 to 4 hours of sleep, and being able to train extra because of your ability to fall asleep and needing less sleep. So I thought that was a really cool premise. And then the day comes where the mother and the father do not take their kids to be presented. And these inquisitors come knocking at their door. And they see the boys and they ask them, do you have a mark on you that says that you're dragon blessed? And one of the twins shows his mark. And they're asking, have you presented with anything, that of what your dragon blessing is? And he has the blessing of being able to see anything that's presented to him and be able to mimic that whenever he wants. So basically, I think it's Taskmaster from Marvel's. Just think of it like him. But you got John, who has been trained alongside his brother. And so he says, I want to go too. I am just as well. I'm just as good as fighting as him. I'm even actually better. And let me show you. So he does all these cool moves. And just to show these inquisitors that he too is worthy of being a dragonborn warrior. And then these inquisitors ask him, hey, where did you learn these moves from? And the father comes in, and then that's when you find out that in this land, that the training of martial arts is only done by the Dragon Bless. So that they believe that if other people are trained in martial arts, that this then will increase aggression and violence within their lands. So during this moment, I was just like, are they going to punish the father by killing him? Or B, I just didn't know what was going to happen. So they say to the man, your punishment is that you and your son, who is not dragon blessed, are banished to the west. And you must live your 5 years out there. And then after the 5 years, you can come back and be with your wife and your son. And the mother and the dragon blessed son are going to be taken to wherever, and the mother's going to have housing, and she's going to be able to still be around her son. But the father is going to be banished for 5 years. And during those 5 years, the East and the West they have started to have a lot of strife, and war seems to they seem to be on the brink of war. So their borders are closed off. So now this 5-year ban has turned into a lot more. And so most of the book, John is, I think, around 16 years old, and he wants to put honor back to his father and to himself, and he wants to go and join this tournament. Now, this tournament happens once every single 6 years, and all fighters from all around the territories come together, and whoever wins this fight, this tournament, gets to be called the Guardian. And the Guardian switched out once every single 6 years, and the person that takes that place, that wins that tournament, gets the benefit of being the one that gets to read these sacred scrolls that the dragon has stowed upon them, and also being able to have an ear, or be able to talk to the king and tell him, be counselor to the king. And so there's a lot writing on this, and John believes that this will bring him and his father the honor that he really thinks that they deserved. And he thinks that is going to be the one thing that's going to bring him peace as well. But of course, his father, who got banished because of him teaching his sons, he doesn't want his son to go into this tournament. And of course, this being a young man who wants to prove himself, he's like, F you, father, I'm going to run away and I'm going to do this without your blessing. And that is where I was just like, okay. I understand this is a YA novel, and the angst of John in these scenes, I was like, okay, I understand that with a young adult novel that you do get these things, and I do understand that he is a young character, or a young person, and of course they, as I remember myself, having high, just the way I would talk to anybody and have high expression for those things. So I got where he came from, but I was just like, I don't know if I want to really follow this character all the way through. And the characters that he meets along his journey, from the old wise man who teaches him how to actually fight, to a love triangle that seems to be happening, I felt like Shannon Lee handled those tropes pretty well. That I was not bothered by when I was seeing all these tropes happening one after another. Her handling of certain tropes did work for me. And yes, I was like, I could see this coming a mile away. Yet I'm not bothered by it. But let me tell you, the strength of this book comes in the form of that tournament. When that tournament starts, the goal, the writing, the prose becomes so strong that when the fighting scenes are happening, I can imagine how they are going within my mind. And it's not like a jumbled mess like you get with some authors. This story is not going to change your mind on... It's not going to change your outlook on young adult. But what it is going to do is it's going to say, hey, just because I'm young adult does not mean that my characters cannot grow to become adults. Because I do feel that the character of John, from the beginning to the end, he definitely had a huge story arc. And I'm interested to see where it goes. But because of some of the plotting and some of the tropes that were in there, I felt like it was a little disjointed at times, but not enough for me to say DNF, do not want to go and read the next book. I'm definitely going to be reading the next book, and sad to say that this book is not worthy enough to be on my own mantle of books. But I am going to be, this will be a book I'm going to say to any reader that's just coming into that wants like a really cool fighting tournament style book, this is a book that I would definitely lean their way. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed my time with it, and I don't regret reading this book. So I'm going to give Breath of the Dragon by Shannon Leah Fondley a 7 out of 10. And let me ask, have you read this book? And what did you think about it? Let me know down below. My name's David, and this is Library Quest, and I will see you all next time.